The conference room fell silent as Admiral Austin Chen pulled up the battle recordings. Around the table, representatives from 17 allied species shifted uncomfortably in their seats. They had come seeking answers, demanding to know the identity of the pilot who had turned the tide of the war. "Play it again," insisted Ambassador Thralix, his crystalline form refracting the holographic display into 1,000 colors. "We must know who this human is." Austin's jaw tightened. For 3 years he had kept the secret. For 3 years he had watched the galaxy's most feared military powers cower at the mere mention of a call sign. Phantom. The footage began. A lone human fighter, outdated, outgunned, and impossibly small, weaved through the Krell armada like a ghost. The Krell, conquerors of 42 worlds, masters of gravitational warfare, found themselves unable to predict her movements. Their weapons fired at empty space. Their calculations meant nothing. Where their computers said she should be, she wasn't. Where logic dictated she couldn't survive, she thrived. One by one, their dreadnoughts fell. "Impossible," whispered Commander Zixtal, his 6 eyes fixated on the screen. "No pilot can move like that. The G-forces alone would liquefy internal organs." Austin allowed himself a slight smile. "Human pilots are different. We know humans are resilient," Thralix interjected. "But this is beyond biology. This is art. This is terror made manifest. We demand to meet Phantom. We demand to honor this warrior." The Admiral closed his eyes briefly. They didn't understand. They couldn't. "Phantom doesn't accept honors," he said quietly. "Unacceptable." The Zerinian delegate slammed 3 of his appendages on the table. "She saved our homeworld. Our children sing songs of Phantom. We have erected monuments to a legend we cannot even name." She wouldn't want monuments, Austin thought. She never wanted any of this. 4 years earlier, Lieutenant Nora Hayes had been a test pilot, brilliant, reckless, and utterly unknown. While others saw flight as a profession, Nora saw it as breathing. She didn't fly ships. She became them. Austin remembered the day he'd found her in the hangar, running unauthorized modifications on an old interceptor. "Hayes, what the hell are you doing?" She'd looked up, grease smearing her cheek, eyes bright with manic excitement. "Making her dance, sir. These older models, they're not restricted by the safety protocols. You can push them further. You can also kill yourself." Her grin had been wild. "Only if I make a mistake." When the Krell invaded, humanity's fleets were decimated in the first wave. Their technology was superior, their tactics flawless. Earth's colonies fell like dominoes. Humanity needed a miracle. They got Nora Hayes instead. She'd stolen that modified interceptor and launched without authorization, intercepting a Krell strike force heading for Mars. Command screamed at her to return. She'd switched off her transponder and replied with 2 words that would echo through history: Phantom engaging. For 72 hours, she fought. No sleep, no backup, just Nora and the void and enemy ships that couldn't comprehend what they were facing. She didn't follow human tactics because human tactics were designed for human limitations. Nora had none. She pulled maneuvers that should have snapped her spine. She calculated trajectories in her head that required quantum computers. She felt the enemy's intentions before they acted on them, moving not where they aimed, but where they would aim next. The Krell lost 37 capital ships in that engagement. They retreated for the first time in their imperial history, and they began to fear a call sign they didn't understand. Phantom. Where is she now? Ambassador Thralix's voice pulled Austin back to the present. Surely after the war she deserves rest. Celebration. A place among legends. Austin stood walking to the window overlooking Earth's rebuilt cities. Out there, somewhere in those streets, Nora Hayes lived a quiet life. She'd refused promotion, refused medals, refused every honor they'd tried to bestow. After the final battle, the one where she'd taken down the Krell Emperor's flagship, she'd simply landed, submitted her resignation, and disappeared. You want to know who Phantom is? Austin turned to face the assembled delegates. Then understand this. Phantom was never a person. It was what humans become when everything they love faces extinction. It was a mother protecting her children. A soldier who refused to yield. A spirit that said, not today, not ever. Poetry, Thralix said dismissively. We want facts. Austin's expression hardened. Fine, facts. Phantom flew 217 combat missions. Never lost a wingman. Never abandoned an objective. never showed fear. The Krell intelligence network spent millions trying to identify her. They failed. Do you know why? The room waited. Because she was nobody. An orphan from the Mars colonies. No family, no connections. Nothing that made her special except an old interceptor and a refusal to let humanity die. That's what terrifies you, isn't it? Not that she was exceptional, but that she was ordinary. That somewhere in your own populations there might be a phantom waiting to emerge. Silence stretched through the conference room. Finally, Commander Zixtal spoke, his voice reverent. You're saying any human could have done this? No, Austin replied. I'm saying any human would have tried. Phantom just succeeded. And before you ask again, no, you cannot meet her. She earned her anonymity with the blood of her enemies and the salvation of her species. That anonymity is the only payment she requested, and I'll be damned if I take it from her. The delegates filed out slowly, their questions unanswered, their curiosity unsatisfied. But Austin noticed something in their eyes that hadn't been there before. Not just respect for Phantom, but a dawning understanding of humanity itself. Later, Austin's comm chimed. A simple message from an unlisted number. Thanks, Austin. Drink sometime? He smiled, typing back. You're buying, Phantom. The response came immediately. Stop calling me that. I'm just Nora. But that was the beautiful lie, wasn't it? She was just Nora. And just Nora had been enough to save them all. In the streets below, a woman with unremarkable features and laugh lines around her eyes walked into a coffee shop. No one recognized her. No one ever would. And that was exactly how Nora Hayes preferred it. The end.